You open Instagram in between client work, folding laundry, and fitting in walking your dog before you have to go pick up your kids from school. You throw together a post, maybe reuse a hook that you saved earlier, slap on a trending audio and hit publish, and then close the app because you've got 12 million other things to get back to. And then maybe later you go back, open Instagram, check it, and it's got some likes, maybe a comment or two, but nothing that actually turns into a client, which means all that time you're squeezing in between everything else, it's not actually helping your business grow. It's just keeping you stuck in the same place. And you're supposed to just keep doing that? No way. But don't worry, I'm going to tell you exactly what to change and how those changes led me to landing 2 new clients in 1 week without having to post more. Welcome to From Content to Clients. I'm your host, Sydney O'Brien, and this show is for busy service-based business owners who do not have time to keep throwing content at the wall and hoping it leads somewhere for their business. Here, we talk about smarter content making, stronger messaging, and how to create content that actually helps your business get clients, especially if you are working in small chunks of time. Before we get back into the episode, you might notice that intro sounds a little different. You might have also noticed that the cover art and the name for this podcast have changed if you have been a longtime listener. Yep. Mompreneur Mastery is now From Content to Clients. While I do work mostly with moms, it's definitely not exclusive. And I want to make sure I'm not giving off MLM vibes while we're focusing on strategy that you can do in short windows of time that actually help your business and not just get you likes and comments. What we want is conversions. We want our content to turn into clients. So let's get back into how to do that, especially now that Instagram and buyer behavior has shifted so drastically. I was actually at an in-person event a couple weeks ago and we were chatting and kind of commiserating because everyone was saying the same stuff. Business feels harder. Instagram feels harder. Clients just aren't coming in like they used to. People are spending more time on content, trying to fix that, but they're getting less from it. So what do we do? Because we know doing the same old stuff isn't going to magically get different results. So we've tried posting more. We try doing different formats. We try new trending reels. We try new editing techniques. We keep posting. We keep testing. And then you check your post later like, okay, some people saw it, but we're also seeing a decline in organic reach and in growth. And nothing is actually coming from this content. And the thing is, most of us, because we're solopreneurs or, we're primary caregivers and we're managing not only our lives, but other people's lives, we don't have unlimited time to figure this out, right? So when you do sit down to post something, it needs to actually do something for your business. And right now, most people are posting like ideas as they come or ideas they're getting from other people's posts. When you're scrolling, you see another business post something that looks really great and it got them a lot of engagement. And so of course you want to try to do that same thing and recreate it for your own business. Or maybe you're trying trending reels thinking this is the way to get in front of new people. The trending stuff normally gets more views. And I totally get that, right? Because again, we're constantly juggling a million things at once, and there are dozens of tabs open both on our computer browsers and in our brains. So sitting down to plan content feels pretty impossible and honestly a little silly when the stuff that we've been posting already hasn't done a whole lot for us or our businesses. And then you go on Instagram and the gurus and experts are sharing advice that revolves around optimizing each post, right? It's like, try these viral hooks. Use this visual hook. Make sure you walk into the frame of a reel as you talk to grab attention. And yes, this stuff is important because it helps your content get seen for sure. But that's not our ultimate goal. We obviously need it to get seen, but that's not the end goal. So that should not be a whole strategy and the thing we really focus on. When we're working in limited time windows, and when we're using it to promote a business, our strategy needs to be different because a lot of those people giving that advice, they're kind of expecting you to treat this as if you're a content creator or an influencer, and they have different goals than we do, okay? Ultimately, our goal is clients, right? We're not there to appease the algorithm and get the vanity metrics. We are here to get clients. We want people to find us that need our services, and we want them to hire us. And a few years ago, Instagram was a really great place for that. But now it's not for a couple of reasons. The first being that buyers are so burnt out on online scams and AI slop content and bad offers that never live up to the hype. So there's a lot of skepticism from buying from online businesses. And I 110% understand that. And that's just something we have to work with now. The second big thing is that Instagram itself has changed. Like I mentioned before, organic reach and organic growth have gone down considerably over the past 2 years, meaning it's not great for the visibility part of your marketing strategy anymore. And because I know you're short on time, I don't want you to create content focusing on the wrong goals. Like I don't want you to try to endlessly create new posts with the goal of getting new followers when we know it's going to be really hard on Instagram. That is better served for a different platform or bundles or summits or something else. We need to focus on using Instagram what it is good for while keeping in mind that buyers are more skeptical than ever. Because again, I don't want you to focus on content that turns into time wasted and content that isn't helping you reach that ultimate goal of more clients. So if we know Instagram is not great for visibility, we know buyers are skeptical, they need more connection, they need more trust before they're ready to buy. How can we use Instagram strategically to bridge that gap? And the answer is we need to focus on conversations. We need to put the social back in social media. We need those conversations, this kind where someone replies to your story, you go back and forth a bit. Or maybe they comment on a post, but more than just those 3 cry laughing emojis, it has to be real comments that lead to conversations that turns into a paid client, not just views, not just likes, actual sales conversations. I have actually talked to so many online business owners, and most of them will tell you that especially when you're a service provider, the people they hire are people they have talked to before multiple times. And now we need more of those conversations than ever. And it's really hard to do that, from a podcast. There's no easy way for people to engage with me here unless they take the time to send an email or talk to me on Instagram. And it's a lot easier to get comments or replies to your stories on Instagram. We have much higher engagement rates there than reply rates on business emails. So it just makes sense to use the Instagram for that part of our marketing strategy now, focusing on that connection and conversation piece. And honestly, this is a little bit of a tangent, but it's really great also for validating offers and validating your messaging, making sure that it's landing, and even your offers, right? And it's also a really great way to validate, to make sure that the people you're talking to are actual good fits for your offers. We want that so, it works out for them and it works out for us. And even thinking a bit more long-term here, if they're a good fit client and they get those really great results, it could result in more referrals for you down the road, a really great testimonial you can use in marketing that'll help build trust with other potential clients. Same with like using that as a case study in future content somewhere. Or maybe they just come back to work with you on a different offer down the road. A lot of good reasons to make sure that we're using these conversations to also make sure we're getting good fit clients for us. Knowing that when you go to create your content this coming week or month or whatever, whenever you need, don't just follow trends and do what other accounts are doing. Think about what your super specific audience needs to hear and what they will respond to, right? Because we need quality conversations, not just filler kind of comments that just say, LOL, so funny, from following like random trends or posting random memes. We want things that will speak to our specific audience relating to the problems that they face that we can help with. It has to be related to your work somehow, and it has to be specific enough to stand out and start those deeper conversations to foster that connection and trust. And doing that is exactly what led me to booking 2 new content plan clients in 1 week. And I did this without posting more. I honestly usually only post 2 or 3 times a week on my Instagram, like to my feed. And then I show up in stories when I remember. It's kind of rare, to be honest. And I actually checked my screen time and I average about 13 minutes on Instagram a day. So this does not need to be time consuming. You do not have to spend a ton of time scrolling, looking for inspiration, finding trends. You don't have to. This should be saving you time while helping your business, not making you spend more time on content. You just need to focus on content that starts conversations. And if right now you're sitting here like, okay, cool, Sydney, but how do I do that? Well, I actually put together a 3-day challenge called From Dreading It to Getting It, and I will help you figure that out. Basically, we're going to hone in on your specific audience and figure out what they need to hear from you, how we can turn that into content, multiple pieces of content, right? Because you have to repeat yourself a ton in marketing, but you have to do it in a fresh way so they're not getting bored with it every time. And by the end of the 3 days, you will walk away with a month of content that will start conversations related to your work. From Dreading It to Getting It starts on April 20th. It's going to be hosted inside Slack. There'll be little mini lessons every day that are 10 minutes or less with prompts. And if you have questions, I will be in there to answer them and give any feedback. And I'm really excited about this because if what you're doing on Instagram right now isn't leading to conversations, it's not going to lead to clients either. And I don't want them for you. And that is exactly what I will be helping you fix inside this challenge. You can sign up at the link in the show notes. And I'm so excited to see you inside from dreading it to getting it. Thanks for hanging out with me on From Content to Clients. If this episode helped you think differently about your content, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's next. And if you're ready for content that's more strategic and less throw it together and hope for the best, head to sydneyobrien.com to learn more about working with me.